Hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Role Playing Guys. This is Spencer, hopping in here for another quick intro. This is part 3 of a 4-part Afterlife series. We apologize for how clunky this episode is. We had a lot of debate over the rules and trying to figure out exactly how we should read them and interpret them. In fact, I think that even despite our aggressive debating, we still made quite a few mistakes. If we did, Atomic Cosmonaut, please let us know, and we can let everybody know that we embarrassed ourselves and disgraced your game with our ignorance. The next episode will be the last one, and we will give a more specific listing of our feedback regarding this system. After that, we'll jump into the game of Wrath and Glory with Ty as the GM. We'll start recording this week, and we could not be more excited to do it. It has been a blast learning the game system, and we believe that we are ready to record and make complete fools of ourselves. If you or a friend enjoys Warhammer 40k, this is the season for you. At the Role Playing Guys, we test out a new game every season, which makes it a perfect place for anyone to jump in. If you have friends who are looking for a new podcast or interested in learning different game systems, please invite them to test out this season with us. If you have a game that you want us to play or are writing a new game, please let us know. You can reach out to us on social media at the Role Playing Guys on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, or you can email us at rolepg13@gmail.com. Thank you so much to our patrons over at Patreon. Jules, Brad, and Steven, you are the gluten to our bread. Extremely important to making this podcast taste so good. Anyway, that's all the announcements that I have for this episode. Let's get to the episode. Alright, ready to jump back in?
Yeah, baby.
Yes.
You guys have spent... Is there anything that you wanted to do before bedding down?
Not
I
really.
don't have anything particular except maybe check up on the unconscious guy, make sure he's all good, eat some food.
I guess, yeah, that. He's still very much a mystery to us. I mean, it's pretty much a job.
I'll do
or
some
something.
reading of my Holy Writ, Swamp Thing Volume 1.
The swamp thing came from the swamp.
You call that holy writ?
Absolutely, I do.
You call that holy writ?
Have you seen me? This thing is basically me. It is. I have deep connection. It is spiritual.
Fascinating.
These all false idols. Croden is real God, God of the sky. You all join.
No one reacts.
We have a lot to discuss at a later
I
time.
am going to keep reading my comic.
I take his comment.
I kill him. I turn his legs into gelatin.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, you could just change my character into a cloud.
But it is that would be a legendary thing. But it is possible.
It's very possible.
I have a 5% chance. Probably. Oh my goodness.
Alright, so you guys have spent the night, and as you are coming out of your igloo in the morning, you see a few characters sitting outside.
Oh, gosh.
There is a bear wearing a vest, and
Of course.
he's got a
Is he riding a
chainsaw
ball?
strapped to his back. You see a robot who is standing beside him, sitting beside him, and the bear is like scratching his head. And the robot looks to have some sort of mechanism in his left arm that isn't a hand, but some sort of weapon of sorts. Well, it looks like you finally woke up. Welcome. What brings you to our neck of the woods?
Just passing through, I assure you, dear brother.
Oh, we ain't none of your brothers. We ain't none of your brothers, not at all. And this is the bear that is speaking to you.
Alright.
Y'all gonna have to give us all the things you got. I'm gonna need that chainsaw for me. I'm gonna need that comic book y'all got in your hand there. I'm gonna need that pelt off that wolf. And I'm gonna need your shield, boy.
You need it, do you?
Well, that's what I said.
Well, I don't think you do, and I'm going to
Bobby.
use mind magic to...
And Bobby, the robot, stands up, and you see that he is like 6'9", and just like this spidery kind of creature, and he starts like mech walking in your direction.
I'm shooting at him.
I'm shooting at him.
Let's get the order.
Oh, Nick was going to use his mind magic to convince him otherwise.
Do we want to resolve the...
Does that even work on a robot?
Yeah.
I was targeting
Do
the
we wa-
bear. I got other ideas.
Do we
don't
want
worry
to
about
resolve this shot off from Scarlet first, or are we just jumping straight into the initiative?
If she gets
I mean,
that off,
like
if she
like
gets
you're aware.
if she gets that off, then Bobby is going to get his shot off too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your choice.
Okay, so where is everyone? I'm assuming I'm still in the...
Yeah, like I think we're still kind of in our dugout, like little area around this campfire.
Is-
and then...
So is this an
Reginald
open
went
air
out.
dugout or is this an igloo?
I thought it was an igloo that was enclosed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I kind of imagined you guys like coming out and you saw this.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
everybody's outside.
I mean, that's what I was
Did you bring
thinking.
Belante out with you?
Volante, we'll keep him in there.
No, I
He's-
wouldn't
He's
have.
probably on my back. Unless we took him off.
I mean, to sleep, we probably took him off.
No.
Okay.
Don't
Yeah.
roll over.
He's squished in the middle of the night.
He's actually dead.
Okay.
He was smothered.
So what else did you guys want to know before we get into this?
Are they lovers?
It looks like
No, we're
Bobby
good,
is Billy's pet.
Bobby is Billy's pet. Oh, wow. Okay.
I got nothing. I just know there's people in front of us that we just gotta chop.
I have a plan.
Ooh.
Let's do this.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, so we will get right into the order and Ty, if you guys, it's your choice. Do you want Rebecca to get her shot off and Bobby to get his shot off, or do you want it just to go into initiative straight up?
I mean, I think there would be a benefit to Rebecca getting her shot off. I mean, if one of us does get hit,
Or
Like, that's a
the thing
risk
is,
that we
we
take.
all have higher initiative than both of these guys, and
Possibly.
they get a free shot before we can probably wipe them. You know,
right?
that's another option. I know I have a pretty good speed.
You do have a
or
good speed.
dexterity. I can't
Yeah.
remember which one it is.
Dex.
But I'd say let's just do the shot off. That's more.
Yeah.
I think it's more fun.
I think it's a fun way to start it off.
Okay. Perfect. So we're going to start. Why don't you get your shot off first, Scarlet? So you are going for Bobby, who's coming at you.
Kill him in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's my job.
Yeah.
So you are going against his tough. What is your dexterity? It is 8. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a difficult shot.
With +2 for firearms.
10.
And I have the mutation, so I get a +5 on rolls to hit.
Jeez. Okay. So what did you roll?
I rolled a 17.
You hit
Plus
you hit
5.
Bobby in the shoulder with that. Why don't you describe what is happening as you hit Bobby?
Like what I'm doing or what's happening
Yeah,
to
what
him?
you're doing.
Well, I would assume I was one of the last people out of the igloo, so I'm probably like half in, half, like kind of poking out
Mm-hmm.
with the gun, so kind of hunkered down and then letting it rip into his shoulder.
Perfect. So you take, you see it just chink off his shoulder and he takes damage from that. Why don't you roll the d10 and we'll go to the damage table.
Okay, I rolled a 6.
6. And you initially rolled a 17. Holy crap. SCW, what is that? Seriously, critical wound?
No, that's a sucking chest wound.
Okay, so you hit him in the chest, but he's still coming at you. It looks like if it would have been something else, it would have, actually injured it a lot more. But with Bobby, he seems to be completely, it's not as bad for him. You see him lower his left arm, and you see a small flame emerge and just explode out at all of you. as he
dope.
unleashes his flamethrower on all 4 of you.
Nice.
So cool.
It's
Mad.
The thing is, there isn't a flamethrower attack despite it being a weapon.
True. I mean, I suppose it's just one of those things. If it's like, well, I guess it covers this amount of space. If you had the range.
Well, the problem is the weapons are very generalized. There's
Right.
only like specific stats for like the quality of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think what I think they would need is to have a third stat, which is spread, right? To like say like, okay, this shotgun is going to be able to cover this amount of space within this range, or it only like actually will hit things in this range reliably. But I don't know. But that's.
All right, so he is just spraying at you guys, and I consider this against your dexterity. That seems to make the most sense to me.
Right.
cool.
So,
That is where dodge is, after all.
thank you.
Yes.
11 and 11.
I have a dexterity of 5, but I have the dodge skill, which means I have a 7. However, I rolled a 20.
So, you see Reginald just collapse face first into the snow, and completely, like, he avoids it.
I was like, what?
No, sorry. He completely dodges out of the way. Does anybody else have the dodge skill? Because otherwise it seems like
I
this...
do.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the dodge skill is
do.
useful. I took that.
Yes. I think we all have dodge.
You
Yes.
all have dodge? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We all have dodge.
All right. What else are the rolls that we're getting here?
I got a 12.
Get out of Dodge.
I'd say Danny gets hit with this.
Oh no! Outright killed.
Burninated.
Make a new character, no magic.
Okay,
For some
so
reason, I just get
Danny,
stuck
you've
on
been
it.
hit with this. What about Ty? What did you
Okay,
roll?
I got an 11 and I have a dodge of 11.
I'd say that one, you also get hit with that.
Okay.
And Rebecca?
I rolled an 18 and I have a dex with a dodge of 10.
So it sounds like the Froggy Boy and the Ape Man are the only ones that are hit here.
We're like in the center of the group, so we just get toasted.
Yeah.
All right, so Froggy Boy, with this, it sears like the top few layers of your skin, and you're taking the bleed effect.
Yeah!
Lucky there. And now we got Ape Man. That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
Isn't it?
Yeah. You do.
Wait, so my armor doesn't even do anything?
Well, it's like if you have... It's weird because... So I'm looking through this. So
Okay.
if it hits, then you take the roll, right? And you go to the combat results table, right?
So I'm looking at... So you subtract the target's toughness value from the attack value of the weapon used. That number determines which row on the table to consult.
Okay,
Roll it-
that makes
roll
more
it.
sense. That makes
So
much
tough-
more sense.
Toughness minus damage.
But then the thing is which row is which?
What do you
I
mean?
think
Oh, okay, so the vertical rows, like the actual rows, are the amount that you get from the subtraction, and then the 1d10
This is
is
the top
what
row.
you roll.
Right.
So, how much damage does his weapon do?
It is an 18. So
Okay, so I
18
took 3
minus-
damage.
All right, so you are knocked down with this. You take the knock result.
And then I lose 3 hit points, I'm assuming, right?
Okay, and
do you?
okay,
Is that
so
how it
it's
works?
got this
I don't think so.
special combat thing for characters that are set on fire. Oh, so you take a -1 toughness penalty,
Okay, so that would have been a 4 instead.
and then characters who are successfully set on fire suffer 1 toughness penalties at the beginning of every turn, unless they put it out. I'd consider like getting sprayed with a flamethrower to set you on fire.
Right.
So
Seems reasonable.
you two are also going to be having the burning effect.
Bring from burning and bleed.
Yeah. Bleeding characters have a laceration or a puncture wound, so burned.
It's
How
Yeah,
does
so-
how does a flamethrower bleed and burn you?
I suppose what it could do is with the instantaneous searing, it causes a scarring, blistering effect
The issue
that
is
then immediately causes my skin to like start tearing open some, then
That's,
causing it to be more like an
that's
oozing
the
blood
EMT
wound.
talking over here.
the issue.
makes sense.
The issue with it, Ty, is the fact that like there isn't an explanation for a flamethrower attack. Like that is something that's listed, but none of these things are something that, except for the burning. And then at that point, you don't use the combat table. So where do you use? What do you use for that?
Right.
Is it just
Right.
stacking the burning, which doesn't make sense? It seems like that really devalues the weapon a huge amount. So I was using the table, and it was the bleeding effect from the table.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're bleeding.
So
I'm
I
knocked down,
right.
but I'm not bleeding.
Right. So I
okay.
got the bleed effect from the table.
I thought I was bleeding
Maybe-
and knocked down.
Maybe
I was like,
with
"No, that's a lot."
maybe with some weapons, what it needs is it just needs like two set effects that it does. If you get hit with the flamethrower, you get burning, and you also get like something else. You get like you suffer the effects of explosive, which I think would make sense. Burning and explosive. You get knocked down, get a -1 penalty to attack, and you also get burning. But like that's
For the record, you both are like burning now, so you also do have the -1 penalty on toughness at the beginning of every turn until you put the fire out.
So is that pretty much just like a -1 to health every turn?
Yeah,
Okay,
until you
gotcha.
put it out.
Yeah.
and the
So it could kill
difficulty
you.
is 12 versus your dexterity, so to put it out. So that's pretty confusing.
A little bit.
I think it's the weapon that I chose that just doesn't lend itself super well to this.
It's fine. I'm just trying to understand the mechanics. That's just the main thing I was trying to do. So the difference between their damage, your armor, that becomes hit points you lose, and then on top of that, you roll on the chart, get a condition. So that's like me. I got knocked down. You got bleeding.
Yes.
Cool. Gotcha. I
So-
understand now.
It's an interesting chart. I do like the idea. It's just with some weapons, it doesn't quite make sense.
fit.
Like some of them like create sucking chest wounds that like is specifically a result of piercing, but like
Yeah,
Flamethrower makes a hole in your chest because it's so.
it
But-
bores into your chest and causes a piercing wound. Maybe.
All right, we'll just keep
So
going.
Ty,
Sorry.
on the toughness thing that you said, toughness is essentially your health, right? So
Yes.
it was your toughness against the damage that their weapon does, and that is, I don't think that's the damage that you take. I think that's just the row, and then depending on the row, that's the damage that you take. So the specific effect in the cell.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
so
the
there's
damage that
like
you
not
take. So
the
you-
difference
you-
at all. So it'd just be the fire damage.
The
I think
If-
so.
Okay, so first determine whether the attack hits or not. If it does, subtract the target's toughness value from the attack value. So toughness minus attack value.
And then you add armor to that. I'm assuming.
You add armor to that, right?
yeah.
And then that number determines which row on the table to consult. Really, what I think it should be is attack value minus toughness value, because the attack value typically is above the toughness anyways, right?
Yeah.
So it should be attack value minus toughness, otherwise you'd be getting negative results, which isn't accounted for on the rows. And then you just roll the d10 in the corresponding value of that subtraction.
But at the same time, it does seem like a little bit crazy that unless you have a weapon that's like excellent in a lot of circumstances, then somebody like Ty, who has a toughness of 15, can avoid any of the fair weapons, you know?
Right. And
that was one thing I wrote down that because I was like, there are situations where you cannot damage an opponent if they have very nice set of armor and you have
Right.
a really crappy weapon.
Yeah.
But the thing is then like magic, like that bypasses a lot of things.
There are attack maneuvers that can like change the way that damage is dealt. Like the vital blow can increase the damage output, but still there's an issue of like, well, why am I not just getting crazy armor things? Like why am I not like, oh, for my reward I'd like an excellent piece of armor so that my toughness goes up to what, like 17 or something ridiculous?
Yeah.
Like it's toughness. Toughness is a very valuable
Tough
asset.
thing.
Like if we're talking D&D, like where like dexterity is the god stat, toughness is the god stat in this, where it's like you can literally become untouchable.
Fairly quickly, too.
Yes. Yeah, like from the get-go, you could purchase the pre-cataclysmic armor and get like a plus like 9 armor.
Mine is a
something
plus
like
4.
Wild.
However, if as a counterpoint to all of that, if that is indeed the developer's intention, and if they are fine with that amount of power in this kind of crazy post-apocalyptic world, then that would mean that the GM should know about that and should make sure that there are, for example, mind hazards or something.
Yes.
Right?
Sure, yeah. I mean,
There should be
other ways to get
physical
around it.
defense versus magical defense in a lot of video games, for example, or in a lot of tabletop RPGs, where like you can be really good at protecting against physical damage, but once magical damage comes in, you're a sitting duck.
And I think we're getting down a rabbit hole here as we are delaying combat. So why don't we
We
get
are
back?
in combat, yes.
Why don't we get back into this?
Yes,
I
let's
think
do
we
it.
kind of figured it out, and we'll know going forward. Now that Bobby got his shot off, we're going to Ty, who is now on fire. So one of your actions, you could either continue to take the 1 damage to your toughness, or you could put it out as one of your actions. But he is also far enough that if you would have to move in order to hit him with your chainsaw.
Yeah, so I'm going to just put myself out. So I'm just going to literally just roll in the snow to hopefully put it out. So I need to make a 12 dex save.
So
right?
it's against a 12, so you have a 9, so that's a -3. You'd have to roll at least like a 13.
I got a 4.
Remarkably, this doesn't make sense, but you are still on fire despite rolling in snow.
It must be the type of liquid, like the fuel of this flamethrower. So I go down 1 hit point.
Ooh.
One tough.
You
Dirty,
do
dirty.
have 2 actions every round.
Oh, I could roll again.
Yeah, roll again.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So I could potentially put it out
He's
before
continuing to roll more aggressively.
Dang it, a 6. Gosh.
With his aggressive roll, he does better, but still not good enough.
The fire screams back at you.
Jeez, this is going to be bad.
Danny
My
and
dexterity's
Rebecca,
high.
however you want to divide who goes first, go ahead.
If it's okay, I'll go first really quickly. So I did my checks for first aid and putting the fire out, and I succeeded on both. Because it gave me the value, so I was able to calculate it myself. What I needed was a 3 for the first aid, and I got a 12. What I needed was a 4 for the putting the fire out, and I got a 9. So my entire turn is just ending those effects, but my toughness does go down to 8.
I think there might be a mistake in the calculation there because you have a dexterity.
I have a dexterity of 8.
And so it'd be.
And so putting the fire out is a 12 minus 8, right? So it's the 4, so I need to get the 6. What's that?
It's 8 minus 12, isn't it?
It's 8.
So it would be a 14.
8 minus 12. Oh, shoot. So sorry. Yeah. No, it's a 14. So I'm still on fire. Screw this game.
Do you want to attempt again to try and get through this?
Well, right?
I mean, I did 2 actions trying. So for the first aid, so I'm no longer bleeding, but I'm still on fire.
Welcome to my hell.
This is interesting. You're just like you're burning up, and you're like just stitching yourself. Oh, I would hate for this to get blood on this flame.
This is so uncomfortable.
How am I even sewing something without it burning?
Yeah.
Cool. So you accomplished that.
The fire seared my wounds.
Man, we should not have let Scarlet shoot first. This was a huge mistake.
Scarlet, your turn.
I'm shooting
Just hoping
again.
for that better pop off.
So it is your dexterity against his dexterity.
So my dex is 10 with firearms.
Mm-hmm. Which means that you'd have to roll at least, like, what?
I rolled a 16.
Yeah, you hit.
Yay!
Like,
If that helps any, I rolled a 16. Yeah, I shoot at the robot maniac again.
okay. So that beats his toughness. We're on row 6. Roll a d10.
Okay. I rolled a 7.
Well, now he's spewing oil as he bleeds.
Nice.
Okay, so he's spitting oil here. That lowers his toughness by 1 again, and he's going to take an action to try and fix himself
Seems reasonable.
with first aid.
Well, good thing Spencer's running this game. He's so good at math.
Thanks.
As accountant.
He is continuing just to spit up the oil, and he takes... do you take another for each turn, or is it...
Do the effects stack?
I'm looking...
Is that what you're asking, or
Let's see. The characters, if the character is bleeding from blah, they suffer a -1 penalty at the beginning of their turn as long as they're bleeding. So, okay, so he's down.
and all of the effects can stack.
He's down. Yeah, he's down 1 more, and instead of trying to fix himself, he's just gonna turn and like blast you guys again.
Woo!
And this time,
F you! Screw this robot. It really sucks.
Bobby sucks.
Bobby. But Billy's the bear.
I have no idea who's who.
so yeah, he's gonna do. It seems like he would be able to do a sweeping attack with this, and because so the sweeping attack is usually for melee weapons, but I mean, let's get your guys' opinion on this. So it says that in a sweeping attack, it's anyone that is adjacent to you. But it seems like if the flamethrower has a range of X amount of spaces, that could extend the sweeping attack. What are your thoughts there?
Man, that's a hard one. Like, I would say that it would make sense that it's
So you're
able to
planning
sweep.
on doing the sweeping attack
but
with the flamethrower?
With the rules legitimate specification that the sweeping like maneuver is only available to melee.
It's for
I don't know.
melee weapons, yeah.
I don't know.
That was my thought.
I mean,
It is specifically for
maybe you would use rapid fire, but it.
Well,
But
technically,
I don't know if that makes
ranged
sense for it
weapons
either.
target one person, technically speaking.
Right.
But
This one
but
is
at
like
the same
a-
time, a ranged weapon is typically a single shot weapon.
yes, but that's the problem.
This
is
isn't
there's a flamethrower.
a flamethrower isn't a single shot.
I would just say you do the rapid fire, and then just take the negative effect for each person after.
Right, so it's like you
Right.
aim for one, and then you are targeting other individuals.
So it's like it would be more difficult the further you got along to hit people because they had time to react. That's
Right.
that's my guess.
No, I think that would make sense.
Or the flurry.
It seems like it would be rolling. I guess rapid fire makes the most sense for lack of any other clarification.
Right.
So let's do this. I have to now set your DCs and take the -3.
I rolled 11.
I don't think you guys actually rolled to dodge.
I think it just is,
Is
their
is,
attack.
is, is there
has to beat
attack
our dodge.
against our dodge?
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
how we
right,
do
right,
it.
right. Yep, never mind.
But that's
I don't
just
know.
me.
I need a 17 on Ty, a 13 on Nick, a 16 on Rebecca and Danny. And I'm going to do 2.5 shots on each of you. Now, I'll do 2 shots on Danny, 2 shots on Ty, 3 shots on Rebecca, 3 shots on Nick. So, Nick. One hits with Nick, getting a 13. 1 hits with Nick, getting a 15. 1 hits with Nick, getting a 14. 1 hits with Rebecca, getting a 20. 1 hits with Rebecca, getting an 18.
Oh, did I heal overnight?
From that 1 point of damage that you took?
Sure. We'll go with yeah. 1 misses on Rebecca, so now it's just the shots on Danny and Ty. 1 hits on Ty. 1 misses on Ty. 1 misses on Danny. 1 misses on Danny. Okay, so yeah, this combat is broken.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of grindy if you're not killing people outright.
It is, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't kill him outright.
So the flamethrower.
Come on, bear!
The flamethrower
I should say.
is. I put it as. What did I put it as? A excellent firearm. So that's 17.
Jeez, we're gonna loot these guys.
Seriously.
17 minus toughness. Jeez Louise, this is freaking a million math.
1 million math. You have to do
So
A
for
million
me,
math.
it's 3. For me, it's 3.
Okay. Row
So knowing the damage, I can do this. So I'm row 3.
You'll either get a glancing
And then you guys all know the damage too, so just subtract your armor and your toughness right now.
So that is a glancing blow on Ty. I think I only hit Ty once, and then what about Rebecca and Nick? I hit them 3 times each, right?
Yeah.
I thought you hit me twice.
Okay, I hit you
So-
twice. I don't know. I didn't keep track. I'll listen to it again.
I got one, so.
So toughness.
Sorry if I'm wrong.
No, it's totally fine. This game is.
My toughness was
Grindy.
originally 6, and with 3 points of, and I didn't have my. Reginald did not have a shield out because he dropped down to try to avoid the first flamethrower thing. So, even, gosh, and he still hadn't had a turn yet, so that's why he doesn't have his shield out. So his toughness is now 3 instead of 6.
Jeez.
Jeez.
So that's going to be a 14. Row 14. As you can see, none of those are good.
Oh my gosh. Nick's gonna die again!
7. Is it a 7?
8.
Oh, just bleed.
Oh, just bleed.
Oh, my goodness.
Woo.
1 away from being outright killed, 1 away from losing an arm.
I feel like getting 10 shots with this weapon is absurd.
Yeah, I think they need to specify what
Fire
like,
rate.
like what? Yeah, like a fire rate, or like if they are going to have these special weapons that are accessible,
I'm
like
reducing
really
this
breaking
to
down
1
what they
hit.
can do.
This does not make sense that you would get 3 fireballs on you. That doesn't make sense.
The other thing that I was thinking of is like you have very limited attacks. Like you have fuel. Mm-hmm. So like for me, my old character, I only had like 20 shots. So if you use this, that's like half of your stuff. And then you'd have to make like, okay, finding this stuff is going to be very hard for you now that you blew it. So you have to play a little bit smarter because resources aren't going to be as prevalent. But yes, for like an enemy, they're going to have stuff to shoot you with. So.
But also, just like if you had an enemy, if you had somebody with a flamethrower where there's no indication of the amount of fuel that you have to begin with, and being able to shoot as many of these rapid fires as you want, like, really? We just saw how absurd this was. Because I also rolled a 6, which meant that Nick would lose an arm. I sincerely do not feel like this is fair, and I'm not going to do it.
I think you should do it to be honoring the game. Nick, look at his face.
Honor the rules. Honor the rules. If these even are the rules, who knows?
Nick has lost a leg, too. No, we're not doing that. Nick would have lost an arm and a leg. That's how much this battle would have cost him.
He grows an arm and a leg.
Oh my god.
He just has some new
no,
stuff.
we're doing the initial shot, which is row 14, number 8, which is bleed.
Yeah.
So you are bleeding
Very generous.
now. I just do mechanically. It does not sit right for me to be able to do that.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do the sweeping attack, and you insisted on this. But
Yes.
you're welcome.
Well,
I,
again,
I didn't insist. I just said maybe this makes sense. I don't know. The
we
weren't
weren't entirely sure, but the sweeping attack did say specifically for melee, so I wasn't,
Yeah.
We're just
maybe
playing
it just wasn't clear to
playing
us
by the rules.
exactly what the alternative was that you thought. But
So Rebecca, on you, what is your toughness now?
6.
6. So row
wait,
11.
even with all the damage?
Wait, how much? I thought I only got her injured twice. So
Okay,
it's
so it
2.
is 6. She started with 8.
Okay, so
Wait,
we are.
I can do math. I can add.
One of us can.
Subtract.
I can't. So we're row 11 here.
I can take numbers away.
Anyone want to guess what number we're getting now?
7. 6. 6.
8. That's another 8.
That's another bleed.
Yeah, so
Jeez.
you are bleeding now.
Lots of bleeding blood.
Lots of
lot of blood.
bleeding,
Me?
bloody blood. Yes,
I'm
Scarlet,
bleeding?
you are
Okay.
bleeding
Nobody
now.
makes me bleed my own blood.
You know what the other thing
Thank
that
you.
sucks is you're like, unless you want to take continuous damage, you have to use your action to stop these things. So it's like whoever goes first gets a huge advantage because they can just literally just keep shooting you, and you have to use your turn to keep healing yourself.
But that
Wow,
that makes sense to me, mechanic, like in a real fight, because like in so many
Yes.
other games, it's like you get hit by a sword, but you can still fight. Like
Yeah, it's
what?
like the momentum is very heavy for people who, which is it's
I mean,
true.
this game is meant to be a bit more brutal. Even the rulebook says something about like describe these attacks as brutal or as much as you want,
Yeah.
kind
I'm
of
just
thing.
gonna
Go
take
into
the
the grisly
damage, just
detail if
kill
you
them.
want, but
That makes so much more
yeah.
sense.
Okay, and now we will go to Nick. You are up.
So here was my plan from the very beginning.
You're on
First.
fire.
Punch him in the butt.
Roll around to get rid of the on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
You got
burning
hit.
and
You
bleeding.
said bleed, not burn.
You,
Unless-
you are affected by both
Okay,
because
yeah.
you were hit by the flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but that's true. Okay, whatever.
You're like me now.
You are like unto us.
You know what? Actually, no. First thing he's gonna do, gonna take out his shield. That's one action. Second action, use mind magic on the bear thing to make him attack the robot thing.
What is your mind?
10 plus mind magic, 12.
Now I gotta scroll up. That's half this recording. It's me scrolling.
I'm telling you, take screenshots of the charts.
You see him just start to snarl as it becomes. Is that your full action? Is that all you're gonna do? You're not gonna put yourself out or stop the bleeding?
Well, I didn't think that
You have two
mind magic was
actions.
anything more or less than an action.
It
And
is
I
one
wanted to take my
action.
shield
It is
out
one
to-
action, but it would require 2 actions to do. Put yourself out and stop the bleeding. So you can use mind magic and stop the bleeding, mind magic and stop the burning, or stop the bleeding, stop the burning, and no mind magic.
How about this? I'll try to get rid of both of the things.
Okay.
It's brutal if you don't
see what
as
I mean.
well. Yeah.
It's because like if I'm at the point where I'm like I need to just go and kill him because he's just gonna keep stacking on stuff. So I'm like I'm gonna just take the damage so I can just do it, you know?
Actually, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the burn and then use mind magic.
Cool.
That's my final answer. So if we're getting rid of the burn, that would be a mind thing, right? I don't have a first aid ability, but
To get rid of the burn, it is a specific thing in the rulebook, and it says to get rid of the burn, you have to 12 versus Dex. Your Dex.
my dexterity is 5,
Okay, so -7 there.
which means I need to roll
Does this sound right? Because it says 12 versus Dex.
12 versus Dex. Yeah, so it would be
That's like the default.
12. So 12 minus
whatever
the Dex
value you have.
It seems
So-
like
so-
that,
so-
that would
so it's the
like,
set
that
value?
reverses the difficulty though. It makes it easy.
Yeah.
It seems like that is written
Because
in confusing
Right,
the
ways.
and-
lower
and
you,
so
because in
that's-
that context, the
that's
lower your
true.
dex, the higher the
and
number
that's why
is.
that's why I determined the value that I determined last time when I was like all I needed was a 4 or whatever. But yeah, it's a little odd. I don't know.
I think
Well,
that language
it's like
needs
there's
to be
two
cleared up, but I
lang-
think it's your dexterity minus the 12,
Dexterity
and then
minus
that
12.
sets
Yeah.
the DC.
Dex versus 12 or whatever. Like
that makes,
making sure
that
that
makes sense to me.
So
the
negative
orders of
7.
things are consistent.
Yeah,
-7, which is what? Well, I'm just gonna roll. So
17.
4.
You're still on fire, my boy.
Yep. Mind magic to make the bear thing attack the robot.
Mind magic.
He failed, actually. I rolled that before.
Again, I
rolled that before,
Okay.
so you see him starting to snarl, and he gets down on all fours, getting ready to just, like, maul this thing.
All right. Well, that's it for me
His
for
own
now.
pet.
It is now his turn, and he sees his robot companion. And because you just did this, I think like the mind magic should be tested next round. That makes the most sense to actually give the effect of what you've done and give your action weight. So he's going to he's going to run at him and pull off the chainsaw and just chug down his back with that. And that is so strength against his tough, which means he has to roll an 11. And he gets a 13.
Nice.
So now using his chainsaw, what did you had your chainsaw is what, Ty?
Pre-cataclysm. I
Jeez.
can look up the normal one for you if you want. But
I'd consider large melee, and he had an excellent one, so that is
The 15.
15 plus strength, which is a number that I'm not going to say, minus the toughness. He is going to roll 16. Anyone want to
Aha.
place a bet on what we got here?
Kill.
On 16?
Kill.
Yeah.
Kill. I'm saying it's going to be a kill.
7.
Oh!
It's a
It's a kill!
He's run up to it, and he just like slices it, just like going insane, just cutting through it. And you see like these flame balls just like bursting out and like exploding, and he's just like, you see the rage in his eyes as he just pummels this thing. And the effects of the mind spell they finally release, and he looks down and sees what he's done to Bobby, and he just, Bobby,
He chainsaws himself.
my boy, my baby boy, my sweet boy. And he sits down and is cradling Bobby's head in his arms as Bobby just, Dad.
Dad.
And
Why have you done this, Dad?
we're, Father, what did I do?
Papa,
Good
can you hear
boy.
me?
Ty, it is your turn. We're back to the top of the initiative. So Ty,
Don't
Danny,
feel bad. It
Rebecca.
had to happen.
I'm taking the burn damage. I'm going to move and slash at Billy.
Yeah, Billy the Bear.
It's Billy the
Billy
bear.
the freaking bear.
I haven't attacked in such a long time. I have no idea how to do this.
So it is your strength with that weapon. Right, strength against his his toughness? Dexterity. Against his dexterity.
My strength is a 10.
He has a dexterity.
Oh, the melee weapon is 11. Sorry. Yeah, I remember now.
Okay. So you need to roll. Oh, freaking 2 that freaking.
I got a
lesson.
17.
Yeah, you hit. You hit with
All right.
your chainsaw.
That's 28 damage.
Go to row 19.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Go to that sweet row. Oh, look at that. Kill, 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 kill. You want me to roll for it?
Yeah.
That's a 10. That's a sucking chest wound with the chainsaw.
And he is just like, he's like spitting up blood at this point as a flaming ape is slashing him. You have another action, or I guess your action was to move up. So 2 actions there. Rebecca and Danny.
I'll go first here if that's cool.
Yep.
So using my make magic, I'm also going to take the point of burning to as my first action of the thing, which we could say is both of my actions or just one of them. But I rolled so I wanted to do a heroic action, making magic. And I wanted to conjure or summon, or rather like piece together, do something where I am creating a radioactive image of Bobby, his dead robot companion, to not only just be there, but it says to assist in the combat as well. And I got a 19 on my roll, which fits into the heroic category. But what would you say like difficulty of the thing that I need to do is I'm not sure what all I need to do in order to do that.
That's a tough one to set the difficulty. Like, how do you set the difficulty on that? I'd say that. I'm sorry.
Resurrecting his friend.
Yeah, you we'll say you take the pieces of him and create him into your own zombie bot that you can now control.
Zombobby.
Zombobby.
And I suppose like my next action for the turn is just going to be getting Zombobby to turn on Billy and to just fire on him with his radioactive flamethrower.
What does he say as he does this?
He says, "I have a new daddy now."
I was thinking like, why did you kill me, father?
I don't want him to just feel sorrow. I want him to feel abandoned.
Well, he's going to feel abandoned as I rolled a 20 for Bobby's attack. So, yeah, that is just straight up like he is lathering him in nice radioactive waste. And this is...
like Splatoon.
Yeah. Literally
17,
Splatoon
so
again.
17 minus... Okay, row 12.
All right, let me look.
Anybody want to guess?
Row 12.
Kill.
Yeah, we do have the potential for an outright kill on a 3 or an 8. I'm rooting for that.
5.
Shoot. But, I mean, it's an arm. Just a regular arm.
He
a broken
loses
arm.
his arm.
If it's the word arm with strike through, that means arm amputation.
This is just an arm wound
it's just,
that he's taken.
Right, it's just arm wound then, or of some sort.
I'm sorry.
-2 penalty to their D20 rolls when attempting action with the injured arm.
Okay, so he is not looking good. Scarlet, it is your turn as he is getting doused in radioactive material by his former
By the way,
son.
all this it never occurred to Reginald that they would be in this kind of familial relationship, so he's starting to feel really bad about what he did.
Well, it was a pet owner relationship. It wasn't necessarily like familial. It was
well, sure, but just like the fact that like it seemed it had the appearance of a father-son relationship, but later.
Rebecca, what are you doing?
I miss. I shoot and miss with a 4.
Yep, that'll miss. So you have another action. You have 2 actions per turn.
Oh, cool. So I can shoot
2
again?
actions.
And you can even use the combat maneuvers that they have. So like if you wanted to do
Shoot 10 times.
I don't have the list.
you have
Yeah, do the rapid fire. 10 shots on the one guy.
what kind of weapon do you have?
I have a heavy weapon.
And what
Like a machine gun type.
Yeah.
Oh,
weapon.
yeah.
I mean,
you
you,
could
you
use the
could do
rapid
you could
fire.
do rapid fire if that's what you wanted.
Jeez.
That's 10 shots, but it's a -3 on each of your rolls.
There's the flurry burst, which is 3 shots, but a
Sure.
-2 per hit.
You're doing rapid fire?
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
His dexterity is 4 against what is your dexterity, your attack?
10.
So -6. So you're gonna have to get at least 14.
And they're all -3.
Yeah.
But I get +5 to hit.
Okay.
So that's essentially 16. No, that's essentially 12 if I get 12 or higher.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that. So -3 is. So need a 14, -3 is 11, plus.
5.
Or no. -3 would make it a 17. Well, plus
Yeah,
3,
plus
17,
5
minus.
makes it a
yeah,
12.
Yep, math.
Okay, well, I got a 15 on the first one.
Okay.
So what do I need to do now?
Just keep rolling these attacks,
Okay.
and if you hit him enough times.
13.
Yeah, so that's another hit.
2 is a miss. 20.
Yep.
17.
Yep.
16.
Yeah.
7.
So no.
7 again.
No.
6.
No.
And 14.
So you got 6 hits on this bear. I'm just gonna say, like, we don't need to go to the table. It seems like if you get 6 hits, you would just be like Swiss cheesing this dude.
Pretty much.
So yeah, you can describe it however you want.
I load him full of lead, and it is beautiful.
And it is good. So you have just completely annihilated this.
Oh my god.
And you guys, a couple of you are still on fire.
Yep.
So you're going to still be
Reginald's
taking
going to
damage.
work on nursing his wounds and trying to get rid of all that.
I got a 12, exactly what I needed to put my fire up.
I got a 14, so mine's out also. Thank goodness.
Seriously.
Oof.
11 for the fire.
How are you,
16 for the bleeding.
how are you guys doing damage-wise? Like,
Well, I did not put
Jeez.
myself out or stop my bleeding, so...
so you took 2 more for that.
I'm at
What?
9.
You took 2
Or 8,
more
sorry.
damages for that.
So I'm at half my toughness now.
Let's rest up then.
So I rolled a 16 to stop the bleeding, but I rolled an 11 to stop the fire. I believe that stops the bleeding, but the fire continues, which means I take 1 more toughness. My toughness remains as 2 now.
If I assist, will that give him a bonus?
We'll say just like after doing 1 check, after that, like there are no more threats, so you could take as much time as you need to
Okay.
put it out. But
Can I change the fire into butterflies?
yeah, that's exactly
With
what
change
happens.
magic? It would be a legendary thing to do, because it's like changing one thing into an entirely different thing.
something. Jeez.
But let's try it.
Just do it for kicks and giggles.
Nah, it doesn't work.
Dude.
So that is exactly what happens. You guys are now left licking your wounds. I don't see a way in this game to really repair other than first aid, which
Right.
doesn't seem to really like... It doesn't seem like that should give you a huge amount of like reparation of damage.
Right. Because like by the very nature of first aid, it is not a long-term thing. It is a like an immediate response, but definitely not useful
It's a
over long
temporary
periods of
fix.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any rules for healing.
I don't see
I-
it, like potions or anything like
Right.
that, which is interesting given that there is magic, that there isn't a way to magically heal. But
True. I mean, I would say that naturally, like, given this system's like setup, it could be like you recover toughness points equal to half of your toughness rounded up every day that you rest type of a deal.
Or it could just be as hardcore as you only get like 1 point a day.
Or it could be hardcore. And
Or
like, do
you
1
actually
point a day.
need to go into a place to get healed by a professional person.
Right. But then the annoying thing is, like, what if I want to play that person that is
That
the
could do
professional?
that.
There's no rules for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But like, what could I potentially?
As Reginald tries to like bandage his burns and his bleeding wounds, he kind of shakes his head and he kind of mutters to himself, "Is my cause just? Is it truly that? I don't know if I'm so sure anymore."
Doubt.
Sow the seeds of doubt in his faith. Crush him.
Have you heard about Swamp Thing?
Have you heard about Croden?
So what are you guys doing? Like, Belante is still in the melted igloo. I mean, with all the fire that's being blasted around.
Yeah.
Before, let's see. I suppose my radioactive zombot is going to dissipate,
You hope
and
so.
then we should loot the bodies,
Maybe they have some goodies.
as classic murder hobos do.
This game makes you a murder hobo.
That basically, you have to. Be.
You have to be a murder hobo to survive this place.
Yes.
If you are searching the bodies,
Yeah.
you have another chainsaw, which would double the fuel that Ty would have or need.
Yes.
So he could pick that up. And the flamethrower, because of the vicious attacks of Billy to just like shred him, the flamethrower itself and the fuel tank for it are completely obliterated, just completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, getting that one out.
And once we've taken everything of value off their bodies, we can throw them in the river, send them downstream.
We could put them on our boat and
Put
sail.
them on our boat, sail them down.
Catch it on fire.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
No, I just leave them for the crows.
As Croden dictates.
If we stay in the area, like at some point in time, I will try dragging them out into the river, just because I don't want to have to deal with the carrion and whatnot. If we are going to be hanging out here to recover, I don't know.
It seems like you'd be able to recover like 1 hit point for 1 day, but unless you got actual like help, that would be the extent of the healing that I could see doing nothing. Just a resting heal from being tired. You know, like I don't see any other indication of anything. And if you were just like blasted with fire and like hit with a chainsaw, it probably you would need some professional to look at you.
Yeah,
For sure.
I would imagine
For
so.
sure.
That would make sense to me.
For sure.
So if you guys want to spend the day resting before going to the town of Genkut, that is up to you.
I'd like to do
the main
that.
town?
So my toughness can go from 2 to 3.
Yeah, I definitely would like to do that so I can go up 1. So we'll
Yeah, might as well.
we'll rebuild our igloo.
Yeah.
And Belante sleeps.
Jeez, what a lazy mother.
Seriously, is he having visions of like the next like
What is this guy
apocalyptic
on?
event?
This guy
like,
is on something.
he's been out the entire time. This is super weird.
That is weird.
It's almost like it's a plot point.
What is it? What is it? Can we try and like have we like? Can we?
I mean, we've tried
determine if
waking
we've
him
ever
up. We
heard
tried a
about
couple
anything
different
like
things to
antidote
this?
wake
was,
him
like,
up
all the way
before.
back.
You've tried
on the
with
witches.
water, and you've tried just like a typical medical.
You know
first
what?
aid.
Fire.
We haven't used mind magic yet.
Oh,
I'm
true.
going to try.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to try to.
Hey, no, that's a good
yeah.
idea.
Don't know why I didn't think of this before, but here.
Awaken from your slumber.
Come back to me.
What are
Um,
you trying to do with your mind?
Yo, Joseph Smith.
Yeah,
Dickens.
so there are lots of things. There's things like, tricking, illusions, controlling minds. There's even like getting a clear vision of the future or something. How about this? I'm going to try to explore the mind of this person.
Explore the mind, and now
Reach out from one mind to another so that Reginald can try to understand more what this guy's deal is.
So you're
I'm guessing
saying
that'll probably be something like skilled or heroic, or maybe legendary, if you wish.
I'm gonna go with heroic.
Okay.
What is your mind?
So my mind magic plus mind, that's a total of 12.
Okay. You need.
Here we go.
Okay.
Rolling. Ooh, that's a 17.
Ooh.
You peer into his mind, and what you see is the clan of the Genkut. And what you see is, in the town, it is definitely a female-dominated clan and town. There are many more women than there are men. Something that you also notice is that in his mind, you see a flash of, it looks like prisoners like he, who are in cages, and that's all you get.
So prisoners like him in cages in a female-dominant city.
So, and when you say prisoners like him, as in they look
How
like him?
are they like him
or-
exactly?
Physically, I'd say. So,
They look
fairly muscular
like they bear
build.
his likeness?
Fairly muscular build.
The reproduction
Above
rates.
average height, but also like fairly attractive men.
Back in the case.
Like
We're
Mad Max.
we're encountering an opposite Mad Max situation. We're in the north, not in an arid wasteland. We're going back to a city run by domineering women, not by weird Immortal Jack, whatever his name is.
Immortan Joe.
Immortan Joe, that's right. But my goodness, this is wild.
And so, anyway, Reginald kind of reels from it and says, well, didn't quite get very much, but it seems that the place we are going is looking for several specimens such as him. I'm not sure he is guilty of a crime, per se. Oh, maybe he is, I'm not sure, but there are other prisoners there that have his physical characteristics. Not entirely sure what to make of it, but
Not our problem. Oh.
at least, well, I'm certainly not nearly as muscular as him, so I hope I don't have much to worry about when we go in there.
It's okay. You're a shrimp.
Thank you, I suppose.
You're like really scrawny.
Yes,
All right, that's enough.
Like your arm is like wet noodle.
Oh.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, that's what he said. I don't know, like, doesn't quite know exactly what to make of it. Didn't really tell him that much about it.
No, it didn't.
Maybe, but like, well, that is what I saw, and when we are finished resting, I say we complete our quest.
Yep. Well, sounds good to me.
That sounds good to me. I think what is supposed to be this moral gray area of returning prisoner to a place that likely will treat him poorly, I think is going to go right over our heads, and we're just going to give him right out back. Yes. This is good. This is good.
Greetings, soggy boys. Do you like water? Do you like mermaids? What about sea elves or reverse mermaids? If you do, come listen to On the Shoulder, a D&D podcast hosted by me. And then there's these other two people. They're pretty cool. Come on down to www.necropodicon.com. See you later.
I see what you did there. See? It's good.
I didn't mean to do that.
Dun, da, 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 da.